Welcome to Bad Playstyle, a book club-style video game podcast where we talk about a new game that we all played every episode. Hopefully you listeners at home have played the same game we did.
So you can avoid the horror of being mugged by the infinite spoiler.
Yeah, we are going to spoil any game we set out to play, and probably other games too, so be careful and check the fucking show notes so you don't get blindsided by the fact that, I don't know, Paul Rudd is Darth Revan. This time, welcome back to Bad Playstyle. My name is Matt.
I'm Keenan.
And I'm Owen.
It's been a while, even though for you it's only been a whatever amount of time you've decided to have between episodes.
The amount of time you chose.
Yeah. But for us, it has been a minute. For various reasons, we did not play Domina.
There were some technical issues. And then there was some lack of support issues, and then there was some frustration and abort issues.
See, I really want to underscore.
Let's
that
underscore
last
that
one.
last part.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
on me.
underscore that last one. Yeah.
So
what was it? Because it was an interesting. I was at work. Because I work longer than Keenan does. I was at work and my phone starts blowing up, and I'm like, I can't look at my phone. Come back to this whole conversation. It's not fucking working.
Yeah.
And then Owen's like, well, why don't you try? I don't care. We're playing this now. And then
I'd already spent like an hour and a half trying to get this game to work.
So then he suggests this other game, which I don't even remember what that other game was. Comes back, it's not working. Owen's like, why don't you try? No, we're doing this now. And that happened again.
I want to point out too, the game that we finally did end up playing, I personally had to spend more than an hour and a half troubleshooting it to get it to fucking work.
So
I'm real good at picks this time around.
If you did listen to the last episode, we didn't play Domina. We didn't. We had I had an intention to.
I still want to.
I still want to play that
I'm going to mess around with it and try and get it to work. But we're not doing that this week.
So we ended up playing. Keenan, what did we play?
We played Deadbolt.
Deadbolt,
which is a 2D side scroller, Hotline Miami-like. Rather than the top-down view, it's got the side view.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit more of a murder puzzle.
Yeah, it's got like murder puzzle definitely in it.
You know,
wherein you play a modern version of Death.
Yeah,
pretty sure. From where I got to,
you play a Reaper.
Yeah,
fair. They call you such.
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's important to make the distinction, not the.
Yeah, they don't make it proper noun. So there's potentially more of you. And the way the game's interface works is kind of cool because you're always interacting with stuff. You get all your missions from a fire.
You're always interacting with stuff.
Yeah, I know. Okay. That was great, right?
Yeah.
So you get your missions by sitting down in the chair and talking to your fireplace.
And you like receive visions.
And you receive poems.
The fireplace gives you intel and tells you about the mission based on what other fires have seen.
Okay, so before we get too deep into what Deadbolt is, I think we've given them a nice elevator pitch plus.
Fair.
At this point.
Sure.
We need to do the things that we need to do. You guys, both of you, since the last time we talked, have been playing
There's been a lot of
you've been playing the Tier Drinker's latest offering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us about how
XCOM 2 War of the Chosen.
Tell us how that feels. Tell us how that feels.
Oh, it's really good, actually.
It's somehow more balanced to make me feel cool, while also making the pain way deeper.
Okay.
I felt like playing regular XCOM 2. My guys are dying all over the place. I'm not getting attached to anyone. Shit's real bad all the time. Well, now there's just jerks with faces that show up and do specific things all the time at me.
They've got names and little quips.
And they there's antagonistic singular characters against you that have been put into the game.
I love them.
I like it because it gives me a target besides faceless Advent guy.
You know what? I was actually thinking when you guys were playing this. this would be an excellent candidate because as you know, I've been editing the podcast.
Mhm.
So I went back. We had a long discussion about Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking because you
You
guys were
can slap
talking
that
about
bad boy on.
you guys were talking about how putting a face to like a recurring villain in XCOM is like a great emotional motivator.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it really
And it builds even more stories.
yeah, it really brings you in. So I think an XCOM style game would be an excellent candidate for a Nemesis.
This
system.
relates to last episode's The Pain, in which I mentioned mercenaries.
Sure.
Right? Another sort of hunt down the bad dudes sort of game
Yeah.
that
Surely they
provides
won't
that.
point blank shoot me with a rocket launcher. Surely you wouldn't
that
do
won't
that.
happen. One of the games that I shouldn't have bought does something similar in the like hunt people down thing.
Are we slipping into Keenan shaming?
Yeah, somehow.
Sure, I mean,
So
like,
Ghost Recon Wildlands
there's time anywhere in life for sure.
Ghost Recon Wildlands has a system that aims to be that while falling incredibly short.
Okay.
While being a disappointing
Wait,
Tom Clancy
Isn't
game.
that
Yes.
isn't that like you know how certain companies would do like the year of the isn't that Ubisoft's the like 2017 the year of falling short?
the year of the disappointing Clans.
Yeah.
Big dreams, deep trenches.
What?
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So
I'm
yeah.
burying my face in my hands.
War of the Chosen is really cool. I did my first go after one of the bad guy missions.
I really like
today.
those missions. They're really cool.
They're cool because they remind me of the last mission in the first game where you like slog through this base.
The base assaults from XCOM.
Yeah,
One.
yeah, it
So-
reminds me of that.
So like the thing I really found rewarding about this is like you're the Chosens that have been like preying upon you. They have these strengths and weaknesses, and you can never count on them showing up. So you can never really plan on being prepared to fight them. But when you go into their base, like you've run into these guys like a zillion times. You
Yeah.
know what they do. You
Yeah.
know what their weakness is.
But
So-
this time you're prepared.
Yeah, so you like
Yeah.
kid out a squad.
Oh, you're vulnerable to Reapers? We brought 4.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's a real action movie moment.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know?
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
totally.
That's absolutely it creates a first act, second act, third act
Totally.
just from its game
Totally.
system.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dude shows up and slashes your hunter guy down, and he's like, "I'm gonna take him away," and you're like, "Hell no!" And
Yeah.
you stop him, and then you're like, "We're in your house now." Right? Everyone's putting their gear on,
Like,
and you're like, "Let's fucking go get this dude. He's been fucking
like
with us for months."
that part in Commando when Arnold puts all the shit
Yeah,
on.
no, it's that. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sequence,
yeah. Oh,
but
totally.
with 6 people being like, "Yo, this guy slashed Steve the other day. I'm gonna fuck him up for it." Like,
yeah, like one
Oh,
of
and
the
also you got the emotional bond. So like if
Uh-huh.
somebody slashed
Oh, yeah.
Steve and you're like
Yep.
butt buddies
Oh,
with
yeah.
Steve.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they added a squad bond system where 2 squad members will like get buddy powers when they're near each other.
yeah, those are really good too.
And they're really cool, and they totally, again, build more of these stories.
Yeah.
Oh,
these-
yeah.
These action movie
like
moments.
one of my chosen had like a weakness to melee attacks, so I brought like 2. It was like 3 rangers, and then 2 of one of the new units is like a psychic melee dude.
Right.
So I brought 2 of those, and a medic.
And
You
a medic.
You just got a bunch of dudes with swords and then a box of band-aids.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, and so like we,
Machete squad.
no. It,
Yeah, machete squad.
No. Wait,
Tag out.
it was 2 rangers, 2 psychic sword dudes, a medic, and then I brought Worf.
Yo,
Yeah.
Because
Yo.
Michael Dorn's in this game.
bad news about Worf, bro.
Did you get Worf killed?
Worf got killed taking that bitch out.
You're a bad man.
No, it was...
No, so he gets an ability.
Keenan is the bastard there.
He gets an ability where he can grant his action to any of your squad members like once every 3
Oh,
turns.
so you just extra swords.
Yeah.
alright, cool.
Yeah.
More swords.
Yeah, and so I can figure out which sword needs another action the most.
Which sword needs more swords?
Yeah.
I know neither of you guys watch One Piece, but there's a guy on there who puts a sword in his mouth and he does 3 sword style.
Okay.
So like that's yeah.
It's that.
It's that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Worf was like having another melee unit, but better.
Yeah. Because
I-
he's more versatile. He's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were multiple sword guys equipped with Blade Storm?
Oh,
So
but they
that when
all
the
have
dude-
Blade Storm.
When
Yeah.
the dude tries to run away,
Yeah.
he gets hit again.
Yeah. Like dude got like chopped.
You get 3 people around him and like,
Oh yeah.
Done.
No, it was totally Scrooby.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And also, swords don't run out of ammo.
Yeah, swords don't run out of
Yeah.
ammo. It's true.
Remember, kids, swords don't run out of ammo.
So yeah,
That's what Scruff McGruff the crime dog says.
War of the Chosen adds in a
Did you
bunch.
hear that guy died? The guy who made Scruff McGruff?
Oh,
He died like a month ago.
I thought you meant literally.
No,
Scruff
not
McGruff,
literally
the
Scruff
animated
McGruff.
dog.
No, not the animated dog. Although I did, somebody pointed out to me
these
the other
budget cuts.
Somebody pointed out to me the other day that because we are all nearing the precipice of middle age, right? We're all
Sure.
nearing 30 or above 30, right? We're
Uh-huh.
like we're right on the cusp there. Shut up. We're
I don't
ol-
like the way you said
we're
precipice.
older than every dog.
Okay.
Like we have to be.
Like
We
we
have
always
to
do.
be.
Like all dogs that exist are younger than us.
You know-
So not only did I outlive the Seattle Curse, but I have outlasted the dogs.
Yeah, all dogs.
I think so long as we remember Scruff McGruff's rhyme,
Yeah.
he lives forever.
Right, but he's not a dog. He's like a furry
Scruff
thing.
McGruff, Chicago,
We're getting
Illinois.
off topic.
Six-
Off topic.
6'5"
God damn it.
And he'll take a bite out of crime.
Are you allowed to say that on like a podcast?
It's done.
I don't know.
Okay.
What are they gonna do? Come after us for spreading their public service message?
Yes. So
I'm just trying to take a bite out of crime, man.
are we got any more things to say?
I don't know. XCOM 2 is really fucking good.
XCOM 2 War of the Chosen.
Yeah.
Great edition.
Okay. Well, okay. So what's what's the one thing that you would like the favorite thing? What do you have like a favorite thing moment?
This is how we're putting the bow on it.
Because I just don't want you to walk. XCOM 2 is really good, great.
Yeah.
You know, like generic ass fucking words like.
I honestly the Chosen are my favorite part.
Yeah.
I think the new soldier types are very cool, but like it's
having a named enemy.
Having a named enemy and like it gives you like a real sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like a lot of time in XCOM it feels like you're always just treading water, keeping your lips just above the water.
Yeah.
They made like once I'd killed the first Chosen I went after, they made that have a weight not just to me, right? There's a cinematic where like the like big bad dude admonishes the other two,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yo, you better fix this or you're fucking done." And I'm like, "Yeah," right? Because you start that game completely back foot, resistance, Wolverine shit against the aliens. And, like, that's a moment where I felt like I actually took a bite out of them that they weren't
You
going
took a bite out of crime?
I took a bite out of crime
But-
that they weren't going to regenerate back.
My favorite is that every month when you get your little feedback from Optimus Prime,
Yeah.
one of the things that'll
God damn
happen
it.
is they'll
Ruining
say
it.
like, Chosen number 1 is doing this month, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's getting more powerful, and Chosen number 2 is doing this month. But if you've killed all of them, it still pops it up every month. It's like, let's see what's behind Chosen number 1.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He dead, y'all.
Chosen number 2, still dead.
Chosen number 3, you guessed it.
Yeah.
Dead.
Fucking dead.
Yeah. Which is like, you feel good about that.
Yeah.
Which XCOM is about not feeling good, so that there are things that have been added to it to make you feel good.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I think that's enough XCOM.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's what Keenan and I have been playing
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for the segment that we basically just steamrolled over.
Well, I invited you. It was
I've played other
it was two
things.
segments at once because we
Yeah.
were talking about Rage, and apparently you had Michael Dorn executed.
No.
Shame.
He
That lady's so good.
he made the critical mistake of grappling hooking an Explodomancer, also known as a flamethrower guy.
Yeah.
Who they have a random chance when you kill them to explode.
So who told him to do that?
Me.
Okay.
But
No,
so
I'm sorry.
here's the
I'm
thing.
sorry. Commander.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He pulls the guy in, doesn't kill him, and then someone else shoots him. Dude explodes. Dude's not in cover now and doesn't have an action.
Uh huh.
So yeah, he died.
Well, so what you mean is you didn't bring Michael Dorn's best friend on the mission to grant him an action
You're correct.
when he got caught out in the open.
You're correct.
Yeah.
He didn't have a best friend yet. I went in pretty early after this one because
Oh.
they harassed me a lot and I was done.
That's all right. Your girlfriend died in my game.
Yeah.
I don't fucking love XCOM. Oh man.
Okay. What else have you played, Owen?
I don't know. That's about it. Like,
As far as like things you want to talk about.
yeah.
Okay.
Played a lot of XCOM. Oh, I played the new Life is Strange.
Oh yeah.
My girlfriend and I played through that.
Yeah. What about this?
I think that's a game where it doesn't need a prequel, and I think my impression going in was that like having a prequel will cheapen the story, and then the reviews came back for it, and it's actually surprisingly positive, and I played it, and I actually kind of like it.
Good.
But
Good.
but it's
Good that it subverted those expectations.
yeah. Unfortunately, it's like a 3-episode thing, and so we only get to play 1 episode. So like my girlfriend and I played it, and like we got to the end of the episode, and she's like, "All right, click on that next button." I'm like, "No, you don't
Not
get
yet.
it. It
Can't
comes
do it
out in
yet."
November." And she's like, "What?"
Right, because you'd played all of them together before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's hella funny.
Okay. So,
What have you been playing, Matt?
So I played a bunch of party golf.
Oh yeah, party golf.
I played a bunch of party golf with children.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Because they're really bad at it.
Make them real mad.
But it's
Yeah.
like a simple enough game. Kids
Yeah,
can grasp
like
it.
they
it's
don't
good.
feel like I'm cheating them when I win consistently, which is like cool for me.
Matt, what is party golf?
So party golf is this dope game that
Dope game.
so it's like regular golf, right? Where you have the ball and you try to get it to the hole.
Mhm.
It's a 2D plane, like
It's like a
scorched
cannon
earth, scorched earth
Yeah.
style. You push the analog stick in the direction you want to go. How hard you push it is how far you go.
Okay.
You press the button, you do stuff. Or it goes when you press the button.
The ball launches.
Yeah, ball launches, but you don't take turns. You just
It's
go as fast as
simultaneous,
possible.
Yeah, you're all just-
simultaneous. If you bump into someone else's ball, you bounce all crazy. And
you can only fire if you're
if you're
on the ground.
It's like kind of slow.
Yes, if you're going slow. But there's like over 300 customization options, and there's a bunch of like custom game modes that they have, so you can get really technical with it. You can change the way scoring works, so it's not always who gets to the hole fastest. It's sometimes who gets to the hole in the shortest amount of the shortest distance in the least number of bounces or
I remember at
whatever.
the party we had, we played one that was first to the hole over the longest distance,
Oh wow.
which made scoring really hard to figure out until the game brought it up.
Yeah. So that's like a real crapshoot.
It was kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
you want to like throw yourself all over the place and then still get there first, which is there's a
that's-
gamble to it.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, I played that with kids. We just played the basic mode. I'm
Mm.
just kind of easing them into it. I need to get some more controllers.
Kids
We're
you
gonna do
want to
some
make
stuff.
it weird.
I also played that with my brother-in-law briefly at a gathering at my parents' house. So it was cool. And then I've been what I can only describe as. So do you remember long ago in the distant past when you installed Oblivion for no perceivable reason and just sort of faffed around in
You
it?
mean Skyrim?
Was it Skyrim?
Yeah, it was Skyrim.
It was Skyrim.
But
okay.
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
It's well documented that we feel that they're the same game in this group. So
no, Oblivion is better than Skyrim.
fair. Okay. All right.
In that everyone's face looks like it's made out of butter.
I actually think that's pretty charming,
Yeah.
honestly.
It works.
So yeah, I
Land of the Butterbread.
reinstalled Fallout 4.
Oh, Oblivion's the butter.
I reinstalled Fallout 4 and like went through the whole modding process, which takes a couple hours,
Mhm.
and then ostensibly it was to play all the DLC that I had never played.
Okay.
But I haven't like made.
But you Bethesda pathed yourself.
Yeah, I like haven't made a real like push for that content at all. I've just been sort of like dicking around.
Sure.
Just in the wasteland with a gun shooting people.
No, I don't actually have a gun. I have a knife. I have a knife. I took the perk Blitz, where your VATS distance with melee is like super far.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Okay.
And then and it's cool because I'm completely naked except for I'm wearing one
This
of the.
character changed a lot since I saw it.
I'm completely naked except for I'm wearing welding goggles, a like military beret, and then an umpire's like front guard.
Okay.
So like I can see my own butt, but like my junk is covered by the umpire's front guard, and I'm like crouching around everywhere because I'm sneaking. So I'm just like,
You're like a campfire story.
no, like I'm like a heavy from a Steven Seagal movie, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Wait, are you, to bring back around the Commando reference, are you the guy in the chainmail in
Yeah,
Commando?
yeah, I'm absolutely the dude in the chainmail. Except for my thing is that I roll around naked in the wasteland, knifing dudes.
He would do that.
Yeah.
Like,
And knifing people from like extreme distances.
Jump out of the bushes.
You're like, you know.
that's why I'm saying you're a campfire story. Because
Yeah.
Oh
you
yeah.
just spring out of nowhere and
You just-
murder
Like
someone.
the raiders are like, did you hear about this dude? He just wears a scarf and he's like tits out all the time. And he wears like an umpire's uniform, kinda. And he's just got this knife, and he just sticks it in people.
He's the
just
fucking,
comes out of
fucking
nowhere.
Jason Voorhees of the Fallout
He
world.
comes out of nowhere and just opens your throat up.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's been fun.
yeah.
Been
that
doing
sounds alright.
that.
As a result, I walk into the living room like,
Oh,
you fucker, you're playing this.
No,
I gotta
okay.
go
So
play it
there's
too.
there's a bigger story to this. So they were playing. Keenan and his girlfriend are on the other side of the apartment in their room. They're playing Rainbow Six Siege. Someone is racist at them enough that Bree starts crying. and comes out into the front room and commiserates with me.
I yelled at them.
I hear
and
Keenan
team
yelling
killed
in the back room, and he TKs them twice to get kicked out of the match.
I'm going to talk about that.
And then he comes...
My rage is brought to you by Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay, he comes back out into the front room.
By Tom Clancy's Year of Disappointment?
he comes back out in the front room, and, you know, I briefly am like, you tell those guys? And he's like, yeah, I fucking shot him in the head. I'm like, okay. And he watches what I'm doing, and he's like, damn it, Matt, I'm going to reinstall Fallout 4. And I'm like, that's on you, man.
Yeah.
And then he just, like, all of a sudden, he goes, I bet there's some nice texture mods for this. And just leaves the room. Doesn't even finish the sentence. Just leaves, runs out of the room.
See what I can get. It was done.
It was the textures, which is, like, that's a weird thing.
So, like, I have a really nice video card, and I haven't really stretched it out. And I was like, Fallout 4 looks kind of muddy. What can I do?
You boys been playing some Fallout 4.
We've been faffing around with some Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
Not really any sort of specific thing we're trying to do.
No.
Just fucking around,
Just
man.
living in it. Just it's like when you marinate in the bathtub.
Or like terroir.
Terroir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember we read that book
What book?
about terroir? Do you not know what that word means?
I don't.
What book are we talking
I
about?
don't remember. It was for book club. I don't remember.
Is that Seven Eves?
Maybe.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. Terroir is like the qualities of the earth that go into the wine, basically.
Yeah, that wasn't Seven Eves.
Yeah.
Because like
he went off on like a fucking...
That sounds
then
like
it was
canon.
definitely Neil Stephenson.
Yeah.
Then it was, if he went off on a thing talking about a thing.
So, is that what you played, Matt? Are we done with that? Talking about Fallout?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so tell us about your punching of an internet Nazi.
So Rainbow Six Siege, I've always had an interesting relationship with the community. So I got back into the game because it's fun and I like it, and you know, it does things that other games don't. I like blowing holes in walls and shooting at people. It's pretty great.
It does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah, it does. Blast processing.
Fucking asshole.
So like I'm playing, I'm enjoying it, and you know, Bree jumps in and we're playing, we're enjoying it. And the thing about the community, apparently only on PC, watching some videos about people talking about the differences, apparently only on PC do you have a bunch of 12-year-old Nazis running around yelling all kinds of heinous shit all over the game. And I haven't run into it nearly as bad in League of Legends, well known for its toxic community, or many other games. So it's sort of weird. Like, what is it about this game that draws Nazis to it? I don't know. But they pretty much checked off all the boxes in a particular game. Like, racism, anti-Semitism specifically, there was some homophobia drawn in, some misogyny, all from the same person. And I'm like, whoa, dude, not cool. And, you know, the words beta and cuck are thrown around, which, you know, are my favorite. I love that.
Yeah.
So
what the fuck happened? Tell
anyway,
us.
my girlfriend gets frustrated enough with them that she leaves. Like, leaves the game, leaves the room.
So they're not even specifically like targeting her. She just can't marinate.
I mean, there was a lot of, oh my god, you're a girl, when she jumped into voice chat.
Okay.
And then us being like, hey, don't be assholes. Right? Not cool. And then, you know, he starts going in on that. And I'm like, you do realize that there are people behind those jokes, quote unquote. He's like, ooh, you just beta, And I'm like, okay, whatever. And then he starts saying shit just to piss us off. Mm-hmm. At which point, she leaves. I end up walking right up to him, saying, are you going to stop? He doesn't. So I team kill him once, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's funny. And, like, we're winning the game and everything, and I'm just done with them, right? So I end up jumping back in. He runs over to me like he's going to kill me, so I kill him. And then I get kicked out of the game, because the game has a way of dealing with that.
Sure.
So yeah, I was already mad, because the game, a couple games before that... we leaned into the rage moment at this point, but I literally had a dude trying to guide me, right? He's dead, he's on the cameras, etc., like you do in that game. Mm-hmm. One of the after death mechanics is that you can still be on the cameras in the environment to help your team better.
Okay. His built-in ghosting.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, like as long as you're communicating, it's allowed. Like,
but like they can shoot the cameras. If
right, they can shoot out the cameras.
Okay.
Like it's an implied game mechanic. So he's telling me, oh, you're gonna go through that door, and he's to your right. He's to your right. He's to your right. I turn right. Keep going. Dude shoots me in the back. And I'm like, that wasn't right. And he's like, it was right! And I'm like, okay, I'm watching the replay right now. And he's left the entire time. He was fucking right. I'm like, okay, And he goes, put your hands out. It's the one that makes an L. It's left. And I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be a smartass about it, at least get it right.
Yeah.
Right? And I yelled this at him, and I was told to calm down. And I was like, no, this guy's factually wrong, and then being an asshole at me about it. No, not gonna calm down.
I've never been a fan of that make an L thing. As someone who works with kids,
Yeah.
if you tell the kids to put your hands out and see which one makes an L, if you ask a 3-year-old, they both make an L.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
not great.
That's a terrible tool.
And yelling that at me demeaningly when you were patently wrong,
all right,
that's a quick way to piss me off.
all right,
So, yeah, that's how I got ragey.
okay, cool.
This week.
Yeah, that's your dose of internet rage, friends.
Yeah, that meta's shitty. Those people suck.
Yeah.
I also played PUBG where I can't hear anyone and I just murdered them all.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
It's a good way to blow off that game.
So I just wanted to briefly, because you mentioned PUBG, I read a thing today about this dude who is doing what's called auto running, where he jams F as soon as he's in the plane, and he hits the auto run key and only is allowed to touch his keyboard if he's trying to go around an object, and he always has to run directly towards the center of the circle
Okay.
or the map if there's no circle.
Okay.
Okay.
So he got number 2 twice
Yeah.
in the, I'm assuming, 3 or 4 days he did research for this article.
Right.
It is...
I read that article. I know what you're
If
talking
he gets to the
about.
center of a circle, does he get to stop moving?
Yeah, he gets to go prone. And if he's in the last 20, he can go prone whenever he wants.
And he made this an art project. He documented it.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
there's...
a thing.
It's pretty strict, but he made it to 2 a couple times. He made it to 2 in a duo as well.
Okay.
And I'm just
Was his partner doing this too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really important.
Yeah, no, it's pretty important. Sorry, I should have mentioned that they were both doing this, but it's
Examining
No, his
his
partner's
dynamics.
driving a Jeep running distraction.
it's I'm not quite sure how to feel about it because on the one hand I do actually kind of want to play PUBG, but I haven't wanted to play it enough to purchase it in deference to the other games I've been purchasing and
Right.
putting my time in.
Mhm.
Well, and there's already a discussion going on around this game about AFKers getting top 10
Yeah.
without doing anything, right?
Yeah, so it's so what is it? I want to hear from listeners. What does it say about this game that everyone's playing and putting their fucking effort into that this person who is essentially performing performance art, right, within the game
Mhm.
that should get you killed? What does it say that they're doing better than 98 people who are trying their hardest?
It's an interesting idea. I will say, even when I'm playing the game seriously with people I would consider taking it seriously, I let go of that game way easier than.
No, I get that. I get that.
We're not talking about that.
That's a different discussion.
I mean,
I
it's
think
it's
going to get to where
it's
makes
the
sense.
same reason that I got a chicken dinner the first night I played the game.
Mhm.
Is that there's enough dice that are rolled in just all the configuration
Sure.
of your match of where the guns spawn, where you land, and where the circles go. That fucking chimpanzees banging on a PUBG PC can
Yeah.
produce almost a chicken dinner.
Yeah. So it is exhausting, and also thought provoking, and also it makes me kind of want to play the game less. And I get that for a lot of people, playing the game is not necessarily about winning, right? I get that.
Mhm.
But it gives me a lot of feelings that this thing that people are putting a lot of effort into, you can. I'm not saying you will, I'm saying you can achieve the same results by
doing nothing.
by doing what is the minimum, right? And I get that it's like football. You're creating this machine that creates highly irregular results,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know, that it gives me pause. It gives me pause. That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Are we ready to move on to Deadbolt?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that. What worked?
What worked?
What worked?
The game has some mechanics other games don't have that I liked. I really liked.
Why did you pick this game? I guess is something I want to ask.
I thought it would be quick.
You thought it would be quick.
I thought it would be quick.
For the record, none of us finished it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody finished it. And it seemed like I do like that the levels are digestible quickly when you're doing it right. When you're not, it's a different story, right? Because you have to start over as soon as you lose and blah blah blah.
See, that was a thing that Owen mentioned to me
Yeah.
earlier that he had feelings about.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fucking done with that in games.
Okay, all right.
Of the like, oh, you died, go back to the start of the whole fucking
Right, redo
level.
the whole thing.
And
right,
like
when
even
it's hard,
even though it's like only like a couple minutes from start to finish, if you beat a level,
Mhm.
it's still just like if it's a big level, it's mentally exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my process in that game is every time I would get really fed up with it, I'd take a break to play Factorio. And I noticed those breaks to play Factorio to chill me out were getting longer and longer.
okay.
And I just didn't come back from one of those breaks.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think we all did that with this game. Like the thing about that game that I was surprised about is that the difficulty ratchets up really quickly.
Well, so for me, it was. I guess we're just going into negative stuff, but that's fine. I got to. I think it was fine. I was totally fine until we got to vampires.
Mhm.
Right, because the game has this whole sequence where you're just fighting zombies, and then right at the
Zombies
end
with guns.
there's some vampires. I should say the zombies are stand-ins for urban youth.
Yeah, they're a low level gang.
Yeah.
The enemies get trickled in by the end of a chapter.
Yeah,
with
you get the new
specific
ones.
Enemies, you get the new ones.
But and so apparently after vampires and skeletons, and it sounds like they're pretty immune to bullets, which exacerbates the problem I'm about to describe. This game I would describe largely as a murder puzzle. You
Mhm.
need to figure out. Oftentimes the default objective of any of level isn't like. There's some levels where it's like go burn the drugs or go get the money or whatever, and you have to figure out how to do that, right?
While getting through a bunch of people's
while
guns.
you don't even necessarily like. There was the level where I had to kill the main zombie guy. I think I killed like 3 people on that level, and I just fucking left.
Yeah.
Right. There's situations where that a lot, but like most of the time, the default objective is just to murder everybody on the level.
Clean that shit out.
And the game knows how many guns I showed up with, and it knows how many guns are on the level,
Mhm.
right? And so it becomes a thing where it's not figuring out what the best way or most fun way to tackle each individual room. It's how many bullets, how many minimum bullets can I spend
right.
on each individual
Becomes
encounter.
way too economical.
Yeah, and it's more about counting bullets, which I super was not into, especially with how inaccurate so many of the weapons in this game is.
Yeah.
And how close you have to get, and how you are encouraged by how fucking fast the AI is at pulling out its gun, aiming directly at your head and shooting at you. How fast they are with that shit. You can't afford in certain moments, especially oh shit moments. Like if you haven't planned mentally for what's happening, you're spending like 3, 4, 5 times as many bullets as you should be in a given situation, which screws you in a way that's not fun.
Right. Long term, you find yourself on the 3rd floor of a 4-story building with no ammo.
Yeah, with no ammo.
And there's 6 dudes with guns on the 4th floor.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. And a lot of the enemies that are using guns aren't dropping guns.
Right.
Like almost nobody does. Like,
yeah.
They're like the game pretty much deliberately picks like these are the 2 enemies on the level that are going to drop a half-loaded submachine gun.
Right. Yeah.
Did either of you guys use melee weapons at all?
Yeah.
I briefly experimented with the scythe.
Okay.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah, I didn't fuck with any of them past the tutorial.
I mean,
because I don't want to be
throwing knives was a very economical thing to do.
Mhm.
Although again, when you throw the knife and it enters a person, that knife is gone.
It's gone,
which I disagree with.
Right.
On like a fundamental.
Even with the hammer.
If you're asking me to be super economical with my shit, and then you're giving me thrown weapons, I want that knife back.
Right.
You know, like
Right. Sometimes the hammer just explodes after
Yeah.
you hit someone, and then you don't have a hammer anymore.
it just it bothered me.
I used melee weapons, but only through the zombies. I couldn't use them against vampires because the vampires like literally jump on you.
Yeah, everything's too quick
yeah,
after the zombies.
So that's where like the like early gameplay is like
It was
challenging.
It was super solid. The zombie levels, I was thoroughly enjoying myself until the exact moment there was nothing but vampires in the level.
Right. So the zombies are slow moving and they don't shoot great, but they shoot enough to be a threat that you need to kind of like surprise, bitch.
Yeah,
all
you
over
need
them
to,
every
you need
time.
to kick in the door and know exactly
And, like,
where you're pointing your gun.
Little did we know that that's what the game is expecting later on at higher and higher degrees of difficulty. Because with With the vampires, headshots are way more encouraged because they can absorb a few bullets. With the skeletons, you have to headshot them, or else they just absorb all the bullets. So, like, even though they give you more accurate guns, it's still really fucking hard. Yeah. In a way that, like, I hit a certain point where I just couldn't. I tried the level probably 50 times and just couldn't.
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't have stuck around that long.
I mean, I spread that out over like 2 weeks because we've had so long.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like, hey, I should take a whack at that again 2 days later. Yeah. Right. But the things I do like about the game in the early stages of it are really fun. The character has this ability to like hop into a vent as a puff of
That's
smoke.
That's super fun. I really enjoyed that.
And it's sort of
especially when someone's sitting on a toilet. And you get to like telefrag them.
You telefrag, explode them off the toilet.
Cool. Yeah. I never did that because when I saw a dude sitting on the toilet, it's like, I don't know, he's probably just gonna shoot me at point blank range when I come out.
No, when you come out, if they're sitting on the toilet, they just explode, and it's great.
That's cool. Gore explosion.
There's a part in a vampire level where there's two people
on toilets
like right near each other, and I had a silenced shotgun at that point.
Oh, nice.
So I would go to the toilet, and I would
shotgun's really good.
I would kick in the door on one of the guys sitting on the toilet, and just like, and then I would get in his toilet and explode the other person, and it was just like that was how I started the level every time. Nice. And it was a nice, relaxing thing to do at the beginning of a level that I was having trouble with.
How the game works is you find these things that work, and you slowly chain them together to finish the level.
Yeah.
But the game will just do random shit differently.
But it was too many times, and then like where enemies were and how sound worked in the level changed. Like it was way too much, and then like all the guns are way too inaccurate for any sort of consistency. Right. Like with Hitman, and I'm gonna compare this game to Hitman because it's 2D Hitman. Yeah. Right. Like with less options, you're just
and like guns blazing.
Yeah.
It's not stealthy like it.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like the same sort of murder puzzle setup, right? Where you're given the tools, you're told to do it, you're given things you can do in the environment, right? But there's no really like set path or anything like that.
It's not clear in any way.
It's just like there was way too many elements that were inconsistent between individual runs for it to feel that same satisfaction, right?
Or even like feel that level of mastery.
Like, because in a Hitman level, you spend a super long time, especially the new Hitman when the levels are huge.
Yeah,
you spend an enormous amount of time in those levels learning them and mastering like all their facets and like learning new things and then abusing them in weird ways. And that's like not what I was getting. Like this game has a really, really solid foundation,
right? And
it's fun. I would love to see what this developer comes up with next, and I would love to see this developer do a more community focused thing, where they're like speaking with their community and asking them what works and shit. But like,
note about this developer, since we talked about this earlier, they're the same ones who made Risk of Rain.
Oh, okay.
So that tells you a little bit about why this game works the way it does.
Sure. I mean, like Risk of Rain, that's a great roguelike. This isn't a roguelike.
Right. So some of the roguelike things from Risk of Rain are like warping themselves into this game where they shouldn't be, and that's where it gets difficult.
It's like you're cooking something in a wrought iron pan, and it's not the right flavor for the next thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like weird minty freshness from Risk of Rain is getting baked into my savory.
It starts doing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I really dug the aesthetic in this game.
It's fantastic.
No, like visually, the sound, like so much of the tech is really on point.
So first of all, sound. The gun sounds
are really good,
super good. I love them.
And like it's a pixel art game, so like it's kind of minimal, but then they do things where they put really cool environmental details in.
Yeah, well, like I like that. Look, so like you're a Reaper, killing dudes. So the currency you collected by your guns are souls.
Yeah.
And where do you go spend souls to get upgrades? You go to Charn the Boatman.
Yep.
Because he's taking those souls.
Just chilling on the dock smoking.
Yeah, and it's like the rain-swept Sin City docks, you know.
Yeah. It sort of had a like a Good Omens noir feel for me.
Yeah. And he's got like these blue smoking eyes. Also, you can shoot out the streetlights down at the docks. And it gets like spookier, and like his eyes light shit up.
Yeah, like this game has this aesthetic and this feel.
Like the
great.
Yeah, and the world it's in is like kind of neat.
Yeah, like the flames are all talking to each other, and like so
the fireplace you work for has informants that are candles.
Yeah.
Oh, and they like hang out on the sides of buildings.
The fireplace gets you a cat.
Okay.
He's like, I noticed you're kind of alone. Like, here's a cat, and so then the cat like wanders around your house And like sometimes you come home. There's one instance where I came home and the cat's sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the chair and I hit E and I just stand there and talk to the fire instead of moving the cat, which I thought was really great.
That's
Nice.
a lot of good character.
Yeah. So yeah, your character's like this really like bare bones dude. Like your guns are on a pegboard against the wall.
Because you're a skeleton.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that was pun intentional.
Yeah.
So
Man, fuck you for saying.
and then the game sprinkles in storylines through mixtapes you find on people, and you
Oh.
go home and you play them.
Oh,
And
I got some of those. I never checked any of them out.
the old mid 2000s
Yeah.
tapes that you
yeah.
gotta
So
collect.
there's no audio;
Yeah.
it's all text still,
Yeah.
but it's like little vignettes about
Some
those
fucking
characters.
Doom
and it-
3 tape cassettes.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
fills in like the story about the zombies.
Okay.
Right, if you get all of them. So there's a lot of really cool trappings in this game that I really like.
Yeah.
The stealth aspect of hopping in vents and jumping out of toilets and exploding people.
Yeah, I wish it gave you like more of an opportunity to screw around with the stealth
Yeah,
elements
yeah.
in the game. Like
Because like when you knock on a door and a dude walks over to open it like an idiot and you just blow his face in
Yeah.
and go time, like that's a rad feeling.
Like I love that, but here's the thing I kept fucking running into that drove me insane is that pick up the button to interact is E,
Mhm.
the button to pick up a gun is E,
Mhm.
the button to open and close the door and knock is E.
Mhm.
So if you knock on the door and the guy comes out and you shoot him in the doorway, and I have to go over and close that door quickly before the next guy
Oh,
comes
yeah.
in. Oh no, I'm actually just swapping
I
shotgun.
can't tell you how many
over and
times a
over.
sledgehammer is on top of a light switch and
Yeah.
I can't turn the lights off again to have
Yeah.
a tactical
And
advantage.
like that's like I think that's I'm embarrassed that for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like really like this. It's
And you
2000.
can't do the Hitman hold E and scroll through your options.
Yeah,
like
it's 2017, and like this is like a stumbling block for the game.
right,
Like
right. So that's like
fucking come on.
that's the weird thing about this game is that like at its core, like we're talking about, like its bare mechanics are cool and
Yeah.
they're fun.
Yeah.
But then
Slightly racist.
yeah,
Yeah, the whole zombies being like they're wearing like saggy pants and
yeah. I mean, the zombies are gangbangers
Yeah.
for sure, and that's yeah.
they're
it's-
urban youth.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like
I don't know. Like getting to the later parts, it feels more like you're the Punisher. You're working your way up the ladder.
yeah,
So, like
but it's still like
I get
the-
you. I get
the-
you. Like there's no preppy
the vampires.
zombie kids.
The vampires are clearly like white corporate crime because they do vampire cocaine and they have vampire nightclubs
and skeletons are like old world massive. Like,
yeah.
Like they feel like Russian mob / Yakuza dudes. Like they're all criminal archetypes and it's shitty.
Yeah.
The zombies end up being.
Well, and I'm
urban
just
youth.
saying, like, anytime you do fantasy, it's incredibly hard not to become racist, like, immediately.
Yeah.
You know, Warcraft, the whole noble savage thing.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, Amarians are all orcs. Fuck you.
Yeah. So like there's a lot of things that are cool that are like kind of broken by the execution. I think.
I feel like this game would have been a lot better. It would benefit a lot more from Warframe did this thing, and I talk about Warframe all the time. I'm a Warframe guy.
I mean, but part of the reason
They
we come
did
back
this-
to Warframe is their design stuff is cool.
They did this thing about 3 years in where they realized that they had completely neglected what, like, thinking about even a little bit what a new player would experience in
Yeah.
this game. So I feel like this game was, the developers played their game and they became good at their game.
Mhm.
And they forgot that people who are going to pick up their game aren't going to be as good at their game.
Right, and
So-
because we didn't build the rules, we don't
Yeah.
know the rules.
We
as
don't
well.
know the rules as well. It's like how you can't really edit your own stories.
Right.
Right, you really need to get a second set of
You
eyes
need
on
that
them
help.
because you're not going to see the thing you're not going to see, right? Like,
Right, you're too like at work, we value the newbies because they're coming in with fresh eyes and go, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And
Yeah.
we've been over here fucking living that